Hello friends, it's Meg, and today I'll be breaking down how to start a bullet journal. In this video, I'll be going over what the bullet journal method is, how to set up a bullet journal, and how to use a bullet journal. This video is targeted towards bullet journal beginners, but even if you're a seasoned bullet journaler, I'm going into a lot of detail on how the bullet journal method works, so you might learn something new, so stick around. All right. Let's get started. So what is a bullet journal? Before we get into how to create a bullet journal and how to use a bullet journal, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page about what the bullet journal method is. A bullet journal is a customizable, versatile system for personal productivity and organization created by writer Herro. According to writer, this method was actually never meant to be shared with anyone because it was his way of coping with his ADD. It was a system created out of desperation because nothing else worked for his brain. I really related to this story as someone with ADHD because none of the productivity systems kind of out of the box fit what I need and how my brain works. And so when I heard that the creator of the bullet journal had ADD and it worked for him, I was really interested. I also think that this bullet journal origin story really captures what bullet journaling is all about: simplicity and customizability. It's a bare bones system that allows you to customize it to your needs. So as I share the how portion of the bullet journal method, I really do want you to keep this in mind, that this system is really customizable and really meant to be extra simple. Now that we know what the bullet journal method is, let's talk about how to set up your bullet journal. To start a bullet journal, you'll need a notebook of your choosing. I recommend grid or dot grid because that just makes it easier to draw straight lines and write in a straight line. If it has page numbers, great, but no big deal if they don't have it. You'll also need a pen. Any old pen will do. I do definitely recommend a pen over a pencil though, because I think with a pencil you'll be tempted to erase things, write things perfectly, and with a pen you just write it, can't change it. If you need to change it, you can cross it out. And if you're really frustrated about that aesthetically, then you can use a whiteout, but I definitely recommend a pen just for the simplicity and the ease of use. So definitely get a pen. You will also need some time. I recommend that you have at least like an hour to yourself where you can focus on this, because the setup itself will not take an hour. It's very simple. It'll be a breeze, but in order for you to understand everything correctly and digest everything, I think it'll take a bit of time. So just if you have an hour, you have nothing to worry about. Even 30 minutes probably will be good. This is optional, but you can also get yourself a piece of paper so that you can write things out and plan things out before you write it into your bullet journal. If you're a little bit scared about, writing everything permanently with a pen into your notebook, then a piece of paper might help ease the anxiety a little bit. So optional, but recommended. Another thing that's optional that you might want is a ruler. I'm using this Faber-Castell one that's 20 centimeters. Any old ruler will do if you want to draw straight lines, get measurements correct. And if you're not using a grid notebook, it might actually be really helpful to have a ruler, but this is optional. The only things that you really fundamentally need are a notebook, pen, and time. So as long as you have those, you're good to go. If you've watched any other bullet journaling video, I'm sure you've heard people use highlighters, markers, stickers, but at the very beginning, I recommend that you stick to the basic tools that I showed you just now, because the temptation to just kind of go overboard, decorate things, stress yourself out with like illustrations and stuff like that, that temptation is really high when you're starting out. So just to minimize the amount of friction that you're going to have going into this process, I recommend that you start with the basics, just a black pen. And if you really can't help yourself and you really want a pop of color, then I recommend that you stick to one color. Okay, now that you've got your tools, let's get into creating the spreads, the fun part. The bullet journal is built up of 5 main collections. Collections is just a fancy word to say a set of pages dedicated to a specific function. The 5 different collections are index, the future log, the monthly log, the daily log, and custom collections. Custom collections we won't touch on too much, but I will define it as we go. We'll get into the function of each of the different collections as we create the spread. But first, before we even start with any of the collections, I want you to go and number the pages of your journal. Now, this might seem really tedious and really pointless at first, but I promise you it will make your life easier later, and it is important. All right, now that you've numbered your pages, we can really start. Let me move you to my desk setup now. Hello, welcome to my desk setup. I will mention that I am not going to number the pages of this notebook just because this is a demo notebook, and so I'm going to use it for other things as well. So I'm just going to number the pages as I go. But again, as I said earlier, I do recommend that if you're committing to this bullet journal thing, that you write out the page numbers beforehand. Now let's get started. The first collection that we're going to be creating is the index. The index allows you to search your bullet journal easily by noting what content is on what page. To set it up, simply go to your first blank spread. In this case, this is my first blank spread, and write index at the top. If you have a thick notebook with a lot of pages, you should probably reserve the first 4 pages or 2 spreads to be your index. So in this case, it would be this page and this page. If you have a thinner notebook like me, 2 pages or 1 spread should be fine. Now, note the page of your spread into the index. In my case, it's pages 2 and 3. So I will write here, index pages 2 to 3. Cool. Next up, we have the future log. The future log allows you to keep track of tasks and events that are beyond the scope of this month. To set this page up, flip to your next blank spread and write future log at the top. Then divide the page into thirds so that you can see 6 months on a spread. This is where the ruler can come in handy. So now we can see 6 months at a glance. But with the future log, we want to be able to see a year in advance. So we will be continuing it to the next spread. And now we have the future log, which this is January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Now we can see a year at a glance. And note these pages down in the index. So in the index, we have the future log as pages 4 to 7. Like so. All right, next we have the monthly log. The monthly log is a central hub for you to keep track of tasks and events that fall within the current month. On the next blank spread, write out the name of the month at the top of the page. In my case, it's going to be January. January. Then write out all the days of the month down one column. And the first letter of the day of the week next to it. And voila, you now have a calendar. On the other page, write tasks. This is where you will write out all the tasks you have for this month. Note down the page numbers and add it to the index. 8 and 9. January is 8 to 9. Now we'll set up the daily log. The daily log keeps track of your tasks, events, and notes for that day. Most of your time is spent here. On the next blank page, write today's date. Let's say that today is January 1st and the day of the week, Monday. I'll show you how to use this page soon, but for now, just leave it as is. And last but not least, let's talk about custom collections. Custom collections are collections that are specific to your needs. Examples include finance trackers, weekly log, etc. Because of the nature of custom collections, I can't show you how to create one, but just know that they exist. Now that you've set up your bullet journal, let's talk about how you can actually use it. To review, the bullet journal is built of 5 different collections: index, future log, monthly log, daily log, custom collections. But definitions can only portray so much, so I wanted to show you the spreads in action. I think you'll be able to understand how each of the different pieces work together if I show you an average day of a bullet journaler's life. So here we go. You wake up, eat some breakfast, shower, and get ready for your day. 9 o'clock rolls around and you sit at your desk to get some work done. You open your bullet journal to today's daily log. You quickly log some new tasks that came to your mind during your morning routine. These tasks are written down with the task signifier, which is the dot bullet. Oh, And that new idea for your project that you thought of in the shower, that goes into the daily log too. This idea is written down using the note signifier, which is a dash bullet. Now, let's make sure you don't miss any appointments that you have for today. You flip to the monthly log of your journal and see that you have a doctor's appointment at 2 o'clock today. Let's add that to your daily log too so you don't forget. Use the circle bullet to signify that this bullet is an event. Now that you know what's on your docket for today, you can get to work. You spend the rest of the morning tackling the tasks you wrote down. As you finish each task, you put an X through the dot bullet. Looking over the list again before your lunch break, you realize there is a task that's no longer relevant. You cancel the task using a single line through the entire entry. After your lunch break, you open your journal again and you're reminded of the doctor's appointment you moved into today's daily log. At the doctor's appointment, your doctor gives you some dietary advice to help you improve your health. You take note of these tips in your journal using the dash bullet. You make an appointment for the next meeting for 2 months from today. You make a note in your daily log of the date and time of the new appointment. At the end of the day, you look over what you've done. There's some tasks you wrote out that you didn't get done, but no need to lose heart. There's always tomorrow. You write out tomorrow's date on the next blank page and migrate the tasks you didn't get done today to tomorrow. Migrations forward are specified using a forward arrow. There's one open task from today that you can't tackle tomorrow either. So you migrate this task into the monthly logs task area so you don't forget about it. Migrating something backwards in your journal is signified using a backwards arrow. Scanning the rest of your entries from today, you see the note you wrote about the new doctor's appointment for 2 months from today. You flip to your future log and log the new appointment under the appropriate months so you won't forget it. As you saw, different kinds of entries had different kinds of signifier bullets. This idea of logging things quickly using specific signifiers is called rapid logging. And it's kind of like the language that the bullet journal is written in. To recap, the signifiers of the original bullet method are dot bullet to signify tasks, circle bullet to signify events, dash bullet to signify notes. For task bullets specifically, there are different status states. Dot means open task, X means task is complete, crossed out means that the task is cancelled. Note that canceling can happen to event bullets as well. Forward arrow means it has been migrated forward. Backwards arrow means it has been scheduled. If you're curious about how I use my personal bullet journal, then make sure that you're subscribed because I will be making a video on it soon and I don't want you to miss it. Thanks again for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!